Good stuff. Yeah, because I've already recorded an hour and 14. So yeah, we're clearly well of that. All right. Well, welcome everyone. This is Undisputed with Clay and Brenton, where things we probably say are going to be disputed or could be disputed. Although we've talked a lot over our episodes of a lot of things that we think probably work better in NASCAR, and the rules and how the format is set. Clearly, Joey Logano has won. It's just that's going to be how it is because he won by the rules. He won by the championship format. I mean, those are things that you can't dispute. He won based on the rule format. So whether we all like it or not, I think it's fair to say, and we have to respect the rules, and that Joey Logano won by that fact. And I'm accepting that. You being a Kyle Busch fan, Kyle probably should have won, but I understand that based on the format and all the rules that NASCAR has in place, because of those things, Kyle didn't win, and that's okay. Joey wins, mad respect to him. Maybe he'll come on to win, 10 or 15 more in the future and be like a Jimmy Johnson. Who knows? Will he gain the respect? I don't know that either. But Clay, I know we've been talking a little bit about, in our past episodes about the NASCAR and the state of it, but what do you think could solve this, or what are your thoughts on that?
Well, we're in a messy situation right now, and I think this past weekend really showed that. How did a driver that won 2 races this year win the championship when you had 2 other drivers that won over 7 races?
Yeah.
That just doesn't seem right, and that doesn't seem fair to me. I understand it's the current point system, but that really is not an incentive to race hard all year, because
Correct.
You could win 30 races in a row, and if you have bad luck in the last 6, you're still out. So,
yeah,
where is the incentive to put a good year together? Because apparently, all you need to do is all you have to do is win a race close to the beginning of the playoffs, get in, and then you can suck. As long as you just keep jumping to the next stage,
yeah,
you're fine. Really, all you have to do is win 2 races all year.
Yeah. Yep.
So that's as a fan, that's not fun for me. I think that you need to, to be there in Homestead, you need to win. You need to go into it with the mindset that you need to win every week.
Yes.
And personally, I don't feel like there's one thing in particular that's wrong with the sport right now. If there's one thing I can, tell you that is completely wrong with the sport right now, is that there's not one particular thing.
Right.
There's all kinds of things that are jacked up right now. First of all, the point system, we've talked about that as a mess.
Yep.
How can you win just 2 races and then win the championship? But beyond that, the cars aren't, racy like they used to be. The style of driving has just gotten boring. The drivers themselves are just boring people on and off the track. I mean, yeah. Back when Jeff Gordon started racing, it was like, he was the cool new young guy. He was like Maverick in Top Gun. Everybody was like, this guy's too young. He's just a kid. But they all kept their eye on him because he was good. Now we have a whole sport full of Jeff Gordons, and it's really just ruining it. I mean, they're not cool. They're not fun to watch. They're not relatable. They're not just the good old boys that it used to be. And, obviously you can't just say, look, Mr. Logano or, Mr. Eric Jones, you're not cool. Get out.
Right.
We can't do that. But, maybe take the sport back a few years and, run that old style car, run that old point system, take the sport back to its roots and try and rejuvenate that old spirit that you and I kind of fell in love with back when we started watching NASCAR.
Yeah.
That's one avenue that the sport could take, maybe to kind of salvage its old time hardcore fans. But there comes a time where you have to weigh all your options and consider maybe the sport has just run its course.
Sure.
All good things do come to an end. Maybe NASCAR is just, the sport itself is just dying a natural death right now. Maybe the sport needs to continue riding out this awful period that it's in right now. I mean, ticket sales have dropped off, sponsors are pulling out, teams are closing up, good teams too.
Yeah.
And maybe it just needs to go ahead and die so that it can be rebuilt from the ground up and go in an entirely new direction and start gaining fans again, because even though it's an old sport, it did have a beginning at one point where new fans were brought in.
Yeah. Yep.
Maybe it's time for NASCAR as we know it to be forgotten and start fresh.
That's a very valid point. It's going
to drive away the old fans, unfortunately, but sometimes it just goes that way. I mean, it's hard when you look at like the NFL or MLB, where the sport has been constant for all those years and it's still got the same fans after all these years.
Yeah.
I feel like NASCAR tries to make itself like the NFL or the MLB, and it's not a ball sport.
No, it is not.
That's why people started watching it originally, because it's not that. And if anything, they've tried to make themselves like the NFL or the MLB, and in the end, they've done just the opposite. They've driven people away from it. So, maybe we've hit a point of no return, and it's time to just let the sport just decline. And I don't think you'll ever see the sport like just go away completely and then pop back up one. But I do think it's going to go ahead and hit rock bottom in the next year or two, or maybe 3. And then maybe some new management, new VP, new president, people like that. Get some new figures in the sport, get some new drivers. Maybe some of these new guys that evolve and mature a little bit. Maybe a couple years down the road, we'll start to see rebirth of the sport, and maybe it'll become something that we never dreamed it would be, and like much better than we ever have.
Yeah,
I hope, at least, anyway, because I love the sport. I love motorsports. It's been a brilliant sport to watch over the years, and it's personally disappointing to see it fall to the place it is now.
Yeah. So I think those are like, that's the nail on the head. The 3 things you mentioned: you either wait it out, you go back to the good old days, or you rebuild it from the ground up. And I think those 2 things are something we can kind of dive deeper into through this off season, and kind of give some of our viewers some opportunities to listen to some of our ideas, some of our opinions on it, and hopefully they'll be able to chime in too. So for this episode, we're just going to keep it short and sweet, just like that. We wanted to make sure we got those few things in, and we appreciate anybody who is listening, and we appreciate your support. We're going to continue to do this throughout the off season, so we can look forward to 2019. Either way it turns out, Clay and I will still probably be watching it. It's on Daytona in 2019, so we'll see what it turns out.
That's one thing you can always depend on. As much as I complain about the sport, it's one that's hard to get away from. It's been so much fun to watch over the years. I don't think I'll ever completely fall away from it, but it has lost my interest considerably, like a lot of people. And I think obviously we're not going to be the only people that NASCAR listens to,
Right.
but I do think it would be beneficial, and I have a good feeling that NASCAR is going to take a good hard look at the sport this offseason. I mean, there is new management coming in with Brian Grant's going away, so I think this is going to be a pivotal offseason for them to really take an in-depth look at the sport and see, what is our next 10-year plan for the sport, because we need changes.
It does. It really does. So you heard it from us, Clay and Brenton, and we'll look forward to hearing from you guys on any of the comments or social media, and then we're going to have another episode up for you next week. So thanks for tuning in.